Namaste, everyone, and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us for this full moon meditation. Before we start, let's ask for divine blessing. To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, to all the saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers. Personally, to my beloved and respected teacher, Master Tokok Sri Mahaguruji Meiling, we humbly invoke for divine light, divine love, guidance, help, healing, and divine protection. Thank you for blessing us with a loving heart, an intelligent mind, and a powerful will that we may be of service to others. We thank you in full faith. So be it. All right. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm here in Hawaii right now in an event with Tony Robbins, and I'm just recording this full moon meditation to make sure that everybody's on a strict schedule of meditating every month, because I know a lot of us live very busy lives, and to be able to meditate, to take that time for your spiritual practice, sometimes a challenge because you have so many things to do. So we do this full moon meditation so that you can take time, actually create time in your life for a spiritual practice. Now, I'll just make this quick. A lot of times people say, why do you do your meditations during the full moon? Well, we try to meditate every single day. Have that special time for your spiritual development. But during the full moon, there's so much energy pouring down to the earth. We want to harness that energy. While the general public, who's not on the spiritual path yet, or not as seriously, they get stirred up, and you always hear of like an emergency room where people have a lot of stabbings, a lot of accidents, and so on and so on. And we also heard that, for example, in the jails, we have one student who works in as a police officer. In the jail, he said during the full moon, it just gets a little rowdy. So essentially, we're harnessing all that energy that normally stirs somebody up, like, what do you call this, fertilizer, right? It fertilizes everything, flowers, fruits, and weeds. So in our case, we want to take that energy, knowing full well we can harness this energy, use it for deeper cleansing, remove a lot of negative stuff, negative emotions, negative thoughts, and also channel that energy to bless Mother Earth and the places that are in trouble, or people having difficulties, and also strengthen our spiritual connection. All right. So oftentimes we have a topic that we want to use to kind of just share some insights, and that's what Grandmaster Joe told me before. When you do full moon meditation, make sure you include a certain talk that will help increase someone's spiritual development, spiritual connection, knowing how to have deeper inner peace, and other topics like that. So for this month, we're talking about serenity. Many of you have emailed us, called us saying, hey, is there something you can do about all these things happening all over the world? You have the different hurricanes that are affecting different parts of the world, right? You have earthquakes in Mexico, the floods affecting Puerto Rico, Hurricane Harvey and Irma affecting Florida, affecting Texas, Houston, and of course, other places in the world where there's constant war and conflict. I mean, many of them don't make the news. It doesn't mean it went away. So what we want to do is acknowledge that, and then when we do our meditations, to ask for blessings to be sent through us to these places. Now, so people always ask, hey, is there something we can do? Well, before we get there, let's just talk about life in general. So I remember one time Grandmaster was talking about the Four Noble Truths, right? As taught by the Lord Buddha. The Four Noble Truths is there's suffering in life. What are the causes of suffering? The suffering can end, and how to end it. Those are Four Noble Truths. So I want to focus a little bit on number 2, the origins of suffering. And we don't want to give a full-blown Buddhist discussion here, but essentially there's 3 C's, right? One is called the first C is law of change, law of cycles, and then law of consequence. So the law of change, as you already know, everything is subject to change. With billions of people over the world, somebody's going to do something that will cause something to change, like a ripple effect, all right? And then, so everything's going to be subject to change on the human side. And then, of course, you have nature, you have winds, you have water, you have the weather, right? Everything's subject to change. So to expect something to be the same all the time is unrealistic, right? Everything is subject to change. And then you have the law of cycles. Law of cycles says at a certain time, it will be spring. And then at a certain time, it'll be summer, it'll be autumn, it'll be winter. So you have these law of cycles. Right now is a certain time. In a few hours it'll be evening. In a few hours it'll be morning. You get there. This law of cycles. So because of this law of cycles, in that and that law of change working at the same time, it's almost impossible to expect everything to be always the same. And that's a big part of it, is to realize that, things happen, right? Good, bad things happen. It's not whether things happen or not. The important part of experiencing inner peace within you is your response to it, all right? For example, on the human side, let's say someone was nasty to you emotionally, verbally, and they start screaming, yelling, saying all these bad things. You have two choices. One, get yourself affected, right? Get so affected that you get also upset and you react to it, and you're also angry and upset. And guess what? After the whole thing was done, the thing's over, right? You're still angry, you're upset, you choose to hold on to it. And then, so what happens? The suffering continues, right? It's your response. Now, another way to do it is, well, the person's nasty, upset, you go through this scenario in your mind. Well, maybe this person's going through a difficult time. I'll just do whatever I can right now to diffuse the situation. And then knowing in my mind that this person's going through tough times. And number one, I don't want to jump into it with him, right? And number two, I wouldn't be able to help him if I'm also in the same turmoil. So I'll do whatever I can to appease it. He's going through a difficult time. And then once the thing is over, I'll think about it. Instead of being angry, upset, and being resentful, I'll say, I think this person needs help. Maybe there's something I can do to improve his situation. Or if I'm the problem, I'll try to stay away from him so I don't trigger it. Anyway, I'll do my meditation. Ask for blessings for him to have inner peace, and then move on with my life. Right? So a lot of it has to do with our response. And that response, or the wrong response, is what will create this chaos within us. To have that lack of inner peace within us. Because there are people out there, no matter how terrible your situation is, there's always something worse, right? And that's the thing, you always see stories of people, they've lost everything in a hurricane, they've lost everything in an earthquake or war. And yet somehow, part of them realize, I have to be thankful, I can still talk to you. I still have my family, I can still have this and that. So a lot of it has to do with perception. True, life is not always what you expected, right? But it's your response to it that will determine what happens within you. And these little pieces of inner peace, right? Of responding properly. These little pieces of inner peace every single day with the different situations, you add it all up together, gives you the state of serenity. So serenity is something that permeates, continuous. Right? It continues to flow through your life, and it's based on a series of little inner pieces of peace, right? And the interesting thing about it is, a lot of times it's due to lack of awareness. And this lack of awareness is, you allow the circumstance to affect you, rather than you say, this is what's happening, how is my response to it? Okay? Now, another part to it that I'm going to talk about is the fourth one. The law of consequence. This law of consequence is essentially what is called the law of karma. And the way I look at it has changed a lot. Before I used to say, oh, these people just unlucky. And they live in a city where there's an earthquake. They live in a city that has floods. They live in a city there's war. They're just plain unlucky. And what changed that a lot is Grandmaster Cho was having a little lecture, and he said about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. A lot of you who know about the Old Testament, remember Abraham was pleading with God to spare these two cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. The certain angels were already sent in there that were supposed to destroy the place. And I think it's his nephew Lot, L-O-T, and his family's still there. And Abraham was negotiating, imagine negotiating with God. Oh, Lord God, if you can have 50 good people, if we have 50 good people, would you spare the city? God said, okay. That's my version, okay? Anyway, then he says, okay, but just in case, how about 40? God says, okay, well, 30? 20? Okay, 10. And you read that, it's hilarious when you look at it from the outside, but if you think about it, he's literally pleading, come on, if I can at least find 10 good people, could you please spare the cities? Well, you know the story. They couldn't find 10 people, right? And so the two cities were destroyed. And according to what we're told, that area was destroyed. It's now the Dead Sea in the Middle East. So a lot of people say, well, why do you talk about such a negative story? But in reality, if you think about it, it really is a story of hope, okay? And that's what message was saying. It's actually a story of hope. I mean, you meditate on it. All right. God said, if there's this many good people, I'll spare the place. So obviously, if you think it from the other side, if we have more good people, that place will get better, right? And the way Grand Master explained it is based on the law of consequence, or the law of karma. And then he started to talk about, the principle of ensoulment at the same time. And the way he said it is, he was on a plane, he looked out, and he was looking out, he had this vision just kind of flash, that there's this city, there's a lot of spiritual light coming in. And the spiritual light coming in, we're allowing people to be more aware of their divine connection, treating other people properly, doing things right. And because of that, they generate good karma. And because of that, the place prospered. And then he was saying, that's the key. So as more people do their meditation, spiritual practice, their spiritual connection becomes bigger. As your spiritual connection becomes bigger, you become more aware of your spiritual nature and the fact that we are all interconnected. And you have a tendency to say, I should not harm others, because in the end, I'm harming myself. When I'm kind to people, ultimately, I'm being kind to myself. And so this spiritual awareness is a manifestation of this spiritual connection. And actually, personally, this part I have not shared with a lot of you. One of the reasons why we're doing these video streams, before that was audio stream, because technology wasn't there yet, is because I was inspired by that story. And the way Master Cho explained it is, if more people would be serious about the spiritual path, it'll transform the world. That's why it's so important, and he was telling us, he says, that's why it's so important to spread pranic healing. Because pranic healing acts as a bridge. You start to understand your chakras. Although a lot of people come in just for healing, right? They have this problem, they have that problem, they want it healed. But in order to be healed, they have to understand the spiritual anatomy. And the spiritual anatomy is hinged on the simple fact that there's energy around us. And as you start to understand this energy, you start to understand that your spiritual nature, your soul, is made of pure energy with consciousness. And at that point, it acts as a bridge. You say, okay, if I can handle that, maybe there's this spiritual connection. And you start to learn about the spiritual cord, right? And you go, oh, the spiritual cord. Interesting. The spiritual cord. So there must be a spirit. There must be the spiritual world. And so it brings people to the spiritual path. We have a lot of students who are atheists when they started. They just want to fix somebody's problem. After all, they go, well, okay, since you're not having religion shoved down my throat, I'm interested in a little bit about what this soul thing is, or what this invisible world is. Because after all, if I'm moving my hand like this without touching you, it's nothing material, right? And there were people who are from different faiths, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu. And then when they come in, when they start to see the similarities rather than differences between different religions, they start to say, hey, we can all work together. And that's why I remember, one of the things that we were always taught is religion divides, spirituality unites. Now let's put it all together. So as more people get on the spiritual path, they start to change their thoughts, their words, their actions. And so even if a place collectively has a certain negative karma, certain things are supposed to manifest. As more and more people generate this spiritual force, the energy coming down, the place is being more ensouled, the people start to generate more good karma, like spiritual profit. If a spiritual debt is due, that covers it up. Whatever the calamity is either postponed or averted. And that's why the teachings of the Buddha are quite amazing. And if you think about it, you can't do anything about law of change. You can't do anything about law of cycles. It is, right? It's there. But the third one, I said four, huh? Three. The third one, law of consequence, the law of karma, unlike what most people say, that's your destiny, you're dead meat, right? Or you're just plain lucky. You say, wait, that third one, the law of consequence, the law of karma, there's actually something I can do about it. And if I can get more people to do something about it, I can actually effect a change. And I think that's truly empowering. You know, a lot of people feel like they're a victim of their circumstances. But in reality, the circumstances are there. It's what you perceive it to be and what you do with it. And that's the power of spiritual teachings. And so, as we learn about these things, we say, as more and more people do meditation, spiritual practice, as people become better and treat other people better, there will be a change, a shift, and people will be happier. And even the people who are suffering, they will see something beyond their suffering, that there's actually something better. And that's actually the inspiration I had. That's why we're doing this video streams, because I figured, you know, if you can't come to the classes, or you're not in your best, what do you call this, emotional state, mental state, because what's happening to you, if you just have a few minutes to press a button, you know, learn a few things spiritually and do your meditation, then we've increased your spiritual connectedness to God a little bit. And you do that a few times a month, a few times a year, hey, those little things add up. And so that was my inspiration. For some of you, I always ask, why do you do this? And, you know, how come you don't charge for it? Other people have to sign in and charge, you know, X amount. I have nothing against that, by the way. You know, more power to them if they want to do that. I just feel like if you remove any obstacles for people to be able to do their spiritual practice, they don't have to sit there and type up 1,000 things. You know, doesn't cost them anything. Guess what? They just ran out of excuses, right? Just ran out of excuses. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to sit there and type something. You just press play and just go with it. So it allows a person to say, well, there's nothing else I can blame that I was not able to do my meditation spiritual practice. It's not like I don't have technique. Well, there's no technique needed. You just, the only technique is this. And they do their spiritual practice and meditation. And so with that, even if they stray because their life got so busy, at least in the back of their mind they say, oh, there's a spiritual group out there that I can join to maintain my spiritual connection. Even when life happens, that's always in the back of my mind. I always come back. And then when I do my meditation, I feel like I'm home. And that's the whole idea there. And as we keep doing this over and over again, the inner peace that you experience doing meditation, and you do that day in, day out, right? Month after month. If you string it all together, you have serenity in your life. And that's what we want. Okay, nobody's perfect. All of us screw up, right? And I've had my share of, you know, circumstances affecting me, but the fact that you have that anchor that's always there for you, which is your spiritual practice, that is what will have you have this serenity in your life. All right? So I hope that little talk just kind of give you a little insight on life. And it's not life happening to you. It's you making certain choices within you as a soul, as a spirit, as a being that exists on this earth to make a change, to make a difference, is what will empower you and allow you to control the circumstances, change the circumstances for you and your loved ones. All right? So that said, let's do our meditation. Let's get a drink here. All right, you get ready? Let's make this short, but let's make it intense. So take your left hand, tap the center of your chest. That's your heart center. Take your right hand, tap your crown. So just close your eyes. Inhale and exhale slowly. We will do the meditation twin hearts as taught to us by Grandmaster Sui. So raise your hands in blessing. Put your awareness on your heart and your hands. Visualize the earth in front of you. But before we do that, repeat after me. I'm not the body. I'm not the emotion. I'm not the thoughts. I'm the soul. I'm a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am the soul. I, the soul, am connected in one to my higher soul. I, the soul, am connected to my higher soul. I, the higher soul, connected to the divine spirit in me. I'm a child of God. I'm one with God. I'm one with all. There's only oneness. Okay, just maintain your stillness and awareness. There's only oneness. Just say, we are one. Spiritually, we are one. Now, open your hands in blessing. Now, focus on your heart gently and your hands and bless the earth with beautiful pink light. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Wherever there's hatred anywhere in the world, let me sow love. Be aware of your heart, your hands, and fill the earth with lots of love, lots of sweetness. Just fill the earth with so much love. Bless your family, your friends, with peace and with love. Just let the energy flow through you. Lots of peace and lots of love. Where there's injury, let me sow pardon and forgiveness. Think of the people we have hurt. Just send them lots of love and ask for forgiveness. Okay. And let us also forgive ourselves. Everybody makes mistakes. Learn to forgive yourself. And let's think of the people who have hurt us. If we want to be forgiven, they also want to be forgiven. Everybody makes mistakes. It's part of growing up. So spiritually and internally, just say you are all completely forgiven. May you all be blessed with peace, with love. May you be blessed with spiritual growth and awareness. And learn from your mistakes also. So be it. Where there's doubt, faith, where there's despair, hope. Let us remember the people who've been affected by the floods, affected by the earthquakes. You know, Las Vegas, where a lot of people were affected by that mass shooting. You know, the reverberation of the feeling of hopelessness that's permeating the country. Bless every person, every being with hope and faith and a better tomorrow. Okay? Where there's darkness, light, sadness, joy. Just bless every person, every being on earth with peace, with love, with a spirit of forgiveness, with hope and faith, with light and joy. So be it. Now be aware of your heart. Take a deep breath. Go up to the crown. Exhale. Now be aware of your crown in your hands. Fill the earth with golden light. Bless your family, your friends, all of them with beautiful golden light. From the heart of God, may every person, every being on earth be blessed with love and kindness. Let all be blessed with great joy and happiness, with understanding, harmony, and divine peace. Just fill the earth with so much golden light. So much golden light. So much golden light. So be it. Now, be aware of both your heart and your crown at the same time. Just be aware of your heart and your crown. Take a deep breath. Exhale beautiful golden light to the entire earth. From the center of the heart of God, through my soul to my entire being, let every person, every being on earth without exception be blessed with loving kindness. Not just bless the entire earth, not just the physical earth, but the energetic one. May every person, every being in the higher worlds, lower worlds, middle worlds, in every direction, in every dimension, be blessed with God's unconditional love and kindness. Let all be blessed with inner peace and inner healing. Let all be blessed with understanding, with harmony, with goodwill, and the willingness to do good. So be it. So be it. Just fill the earth with so much love from both your heart and your crown. Let all be blessed unconditionally. So be it. Now, lower your hands on your lap. Keep your eyes closed. Be still and imagine a beautiful golden flame on top of your crown. Just look at that flame, nothing but the flame. Now from your heart, send a stream of love up to the crown and into the flame. Just listen to the mantra Om. I'm going to chant Om. And gently let your awareness drift into the space in between two Oms. Okay? Just be still. Om. Allow your awareness to just drift into that space. Your awareness is now completely in that space. Allow your awareness to just simply drift into that space and stay there. Any sound, any noise you hear will just allow you to gently drift deeper and deeper into that stillness. Be still and let go. Now, gently, slowly, come back to your body. Move your fingers, move your toes. Gently and slowly come back. You guys okay? Okay, just gently raise your hands again in blessing. We'll release the excess energy that our bodies cannot absorb, okay? Visualize your loved ones, your family, friends, people you work with. Flood them with golden light. May all of them be blessed with good health, with happiness, with prosperity, and with spirituality. so be it. Release the excess energy, bless your job, your career with success, with progress and advancement. Now aim your hands down on the floor if you like. Focus on your feet and the base of your spine. Just visualize golden light going down into the earth. Let our beloved Mother Earth be blessed with divine light, divine love, and divine power. Let our beloved Mother Earth be healed, regenerated, and revitalized. Blessings be to Mother Earth. So be it. Alright, let's give thanks to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, thank you. To all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. Personally, to my teacher, Master Chokok Sri Mahaguji Mailing, thank you for the blessings in full faith. And so it is. Now, before we end this, it's customary, we always do this in the full moon. Have all your projects that you want energized and blessed in front of you. The ones who've taken the Kriya Shakti classes, all your goals and aspirations that you've written, you've charged up, put it in front of you. We have so much energy from this meditation. We usually have several thousand people meditating at the same time or within a certain space of time. As far as we know, it could be more because those are the computers connected. Who knows how many people, right? So everybody raise your hand, just say we are one. We're one with God, we're one with all. Now visualize all your projects in front of you in completion and success, flooded with golden light. Okay. Bless all of them with super success and manifestation according to the divine will. And the ones who took Kriya Shakti, you know how to use the mudra and all the different techniques you've learned. The ones who haven't, well, you learn that in the classes, but in the meantime, just charge it with so much golden light. With God's blessing, so be it. All right. And just a few more announcements. We talked about the meditations. A lot of you took the classes, so some of you haven't. So go to your local pranic healing centers and take the classes so you get to learn how to use this energy, learn more about this meditation. Now, personally, I will be in Greece, and some of you that are Hatha Yoga retreat, and I'll see you there. It's going to be fantastic. I think there's some people still signing up, but make sure you do so. It's going to be great. And I'm going to be with Master Hector, and that guy is super smart guy, and I love working with him. And he'll talk about the intricate details of theosophy, the inner teachings. He's great, and it's fantastic. So he'll be doing that, and I'll be the one pushing you like that. Do your practice, all right? And then in November, last week of October, and also in the second week or third week of November, we'll have Arhatic Yoga. If you like pranic healing, you like meditation twin hearts, Arhatic Yoga is a structured spiritual practice. Okay, I know some of you want to be free, but you have to lay down a foundation. How to clean the chakras, how to break up negative energies, and how to accelerate your spiritual development. And this is a big thing that if I may just share for a minute or so. A lot of people don't realize this, but if you look at people who get serious about this spiritual practice, something happens. It's just like something just comes to the surface. A quickening, right? And some people have told me, like, once they enter the spiritual practice, certain parts of their life came crashing down. Finances, relationship, right? Health, and other things. And they just say, well, what happened? We explain that in detail in our Hatha Yoga. This is part of accelerated learning, and we give you the solutions for that. And some people, when they meditate, they can't sleep, or they start having relationship issues. They cannot sometimes focus. That's what you call potential problems in spiritual practice. So Arhatic Yoga is a structured practice where you're given certain meditations a day that you practice, and then you do certain purifying techniques, which is very, very important because the soul is like a balloon that's trying to take off, but it has a lot of weights on it. So as we keep purifying, removing all these personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Like negative traits that we have, right? They call them ancient seeds. Certain energies, thoughts, emotions, tendencies, that we have not learned from previous lifetime. Those have to be removed so the soul can take off. And we go to that in detail in our Hatha Yoga. For some of you asked that question, what is it? That gives you like a snapshot. And of course the website has more detail. I would encourage you, if you're really serious. I've been practicing that, by next year it'll be 30 years. And people ask me, why do you continue? I can't imagine my life without it. Gives me clarity, gives me power, gives you the ability to share and love. let you learn intricate, deeper spiritual teachings. I find personally it's great. And if you want to, those are the two places I'll be in, Anaheim, and also Anaheim's by Disneyland, and St. Louis. And you have my commitment. You're there. We'll stuff you with as much information and teachings as you can handle. All right. Other than that, have a great coming week and the rest of the month. Atma, namaste. May God and teacher's blessing be with all of you. Take care. Bye. So, signing off from Maui. Aloha.